Perfect. Okay, so thank you once again for joining. My name is Dominic Gordon, and I'm the Deputy Director of Recruitment and Partnerships here at Newcastle University, London. So I work with students from Europe and the UK and around the world to help them in their journey to our degree programs and our pathway programs here in London. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk a little bit about Newcastle University and Newcastle University London to introduce you to that. And then I'm going to talk a bit about employability and what employers are looking for in future graduates, and also what we do to make sure that our students are employable when they leave us and they go off into the big, scary world of work. So just to introduce Newcastle University, hopefully you're familiar with us, or at least you've heard of us. We are one of the top universities in the world, which is great. We rank in the top 150 universities in all of the major world rankings. And we're also a founding member of the prestigious Russell Group of research intensive universities. So the universities that are producing a lot of groundbreaking research and really trying to change the world and make the world a better place. We rank 21st in the UK, and we're also good not just for our academic research, but also for our teaching quality as well. So we got the Gold Award in the Teaching Excellence Framework that, as you're probably aware, splits UK universities into gold, silver and bronze, a little bit like the Olympics, and we got the Gold Top Award for our teaching quality in that. We've also been ranked as the 9th best university in Europe for our teaching excellence as well. So strong for research, strong for teaching excellence, and a very high ranking as well. And what all of this really adds up to is why I'm here talking to you today, is very strong graduate employability. So we rank in the top 10 in the UK for graduate employability as well. We're a globally focused university. So we actually have 4 sites across the world. Newcastle is our home campus, beautiful city up in the northeast of England, where we have 28,000 students studying everything from humanities and social sciences, science, agriculture, engineering, and medical sciences and biomedical sciences as well. We have a campus in Malaysia for the teaching of medicine and biomedical sciences. We have a site in Singapore for teaching marine-related technology and engineering courses. And we have the London campus, where I'm based, which is what we'll be talking in a bit more detail about today. Just before I get onto London, I just wanted to give you an idea of what our Newcastle base looks like. It's a traditional, large sort of Russell Group, red brick, very pretty green university campus. And the campus itself sits just on the edge of the city centre of Newcastle, which is a fantastic student city. In London, our campus is a little bit different. We're a modern, shiny glass building in an area of modern, shiny glass buildings, right slap bang in the centre of London. So this is our campus, 5-storey, modern, purpose-built building. And our London campus, we specialise in business-related degrees. So we have at undergraduate level, we have 3 degrees. We have accounting and finance, international business management, and international marketing and management. At postgraduate level, we offer banking and finance, international business management, and international marketing. We have our pathway programs. So these are our preparation programs for international students that are delivered by INTO, our partners INTO. So this is the International Foundation, the International Year 1, graduate diploma, and academic English and pre-sessional English as well. So real focus on business and very carefully chosen. These degrees have existed and been taught at our campus in Newcastle for many years, and were very deliberately chosen to bring down to London, as we think they work very well in the context of a central London campus. Now, Newcastle University is well known for a number of subjects. We're very well known for things like medicine and dentistry, for engineering, for TESOL and cross-cultural communication as well. But business is a very strong subject at Newcastle too. In terms of our rankings for business, we rank 8th in the UK for marketing, 13th in the UK for accounting and finance, and 21st in the UK for business and management, according to the latest Complete University Guide. And so these are not only high-ranking subjects in the UK, but even if you look at studying these subjects in London, and we know that many of you are, or many of your students are thinking, I must go and study in London, these subjects actually rank very highly within London itself as well. Now, our courses are written with industry in mind. So we have a range of exemptions from professional qualifications and accreditations as well. So for example, our marketing programs are accredited by the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and the International Marketing MSc is one of only a handful of courses to be accredited by the Market Research Society in the UK. And we have accreditations and exemptions from qualifications like CIMA, ACCA, AIA, and ICAEW as well. Quite important is all of our programs that are on offer here at the London campus. They are Newcastle University Business School degrees taught by Newcastle University Business School academics who are just based in London. So all of these degrees are designed by our triple accredited business school. So they all have that triple accredited golden crown, which is a real sign of quality. So they're all accredited by AACSB, Amber, and Equus, which really means that that piece of paper that you get at the end of your business degree with us at Newcastle University is a powerful piece of paper that's well recognized wherever you go in the world. So it's a real sign of quality. Now, where are we in London? So I mentioned we were in the center of London. We're actually on the edge of London's financial district, known as the City of London. And that's the main hub for banking, insurance, and financial industries within the city. So we're close to Lloyd's of London, the Royal Bank of Scotland, major office in London. We're also on the edge of Tech City, which is the UK tech hub, which is home to loads of different tech organizations, people like Google and Cisco and EE and Intel, Microsoft, Amazon have all invested heavily in this area. And these are all operations, all businesses that are within walking distance of campus. And what that means for our students, just going back to our theme of employability, is it's a fantastic environment in which to study business. You're studying business in the heart of business and industry and finance. So it's a very exciting, fast-paced place to study your business degree. And our campus environment that we have here at Newcastle University, London, is actually relatively unusual. We're a small campus. We offer quite a different environment to many larger universities. We have 660 students on campus at last count. And what that means is we have smaller than average class sizes. It's a very friendly, supportive, close-knit feel on our campus. London is a big, noisy, bustling city of 8.5 million people, but our campus is small. So students get to know each other very easily, and they really get to connect with academics, with our faculty, in a way that can be difficult when you're on a big university. We're also very diverse. So as with many institutions in London, we're very good at attracting students from all around the world. So within our 660 students, we have students coming from 70 different nationalities, which is something we're really proud of. And what we do, what our mission is as a campus, is to prepare our students to get jobs in big global companies. And actually the best environment you can have to prepare for that is an environment that is roughly similar to the environment you will find when you do go to work for a big global company. And that's what we're working towards on campus. So because we're so diverse, students find themselves working in groups of students with students from several other different countries and nationalities, and it really helps to build their cultural awareness and their cross-cultural communication skills, which feeds into how employable they are when they leave us. And I mentioned that we're on the edge of the business district, which is inspiring and exciting, but actually we're also on the edge of some of London's most trendy, vibrant, hipster, young areas. Places like Shoreditch and Spitalfields and Brick Lane are just full of young people, amazing street art, bars, restaurants and cafes. It's a very good vibe. It's a very young, energetic feeling. So it's a great place to live as a student as well. And just to give you a sort of a better idea of what our campus environment and our local area is like, I'll show you a very short video. So hopefully that gives you a little insight into what our local area is like in London. Okay, so what we're here to talk about today really is graduate employability. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the world of work looks like, and what our employers tell us that they are looking for in new graduates. And I'm going to talk about what we do as a university and as a London campus to make sure that our students are equipped with the skills and the experience to compete with everyone else for those top graduate jobs. I should mention, if you do have any questions, please do feel free to ask them. You can add questions into the chat section, and at the end, I'd be happy to field any questions you have. So the reason I've chosen to talk about employability is because it's something that's really important to us as a university. It really is at the heart of what we do. We know that students are investing a huge amount of time and effort and energy, and most importantly, money into their education. So we want to make sure that they're getting value for that money, and we really are preparing them to get a good graduate job. And it's something that we do very well as a university. I mentioned at the beginning, we're top 10 in the UK for our graduate prospects, but actually what's probably even more relevant to you guys on the webinar today is the particular care we take for our international students as well. So 98% of the international graduates of Newcastle University as a whole are in professional or managerial jobs after graduation, which is a really impressive, a really high number of students. And today I'm going to talk about how we do that. But just to start with the world of work, in the past, things were a bit different. University wasn't as widespread, not as many people were going to university, which meant that if you did have a degree, you were very popular with employers. Degrees at traditional universities could be quite theoretical, which means that graduates coming out weren't necessarily ready to start working. So companies would invest a lot in initial training, and partly because the trend in the olden days was that people would find a job and they would stay with that company for a long time. Now things are a bit different. The world of work is changing rapidly, especially with developments in technology. Lots of people are going to university. It's much more accessible. Competition for graduate jobs is fierce. People are more globally mobile. So the UK is a really good example of a country where we attract the best and brightest students from all across the world, which is fantastic for our university environments, but it means it's even more people competing for those graduate jobs. So it's more competitive than ever. And that means that industry can actually be a bit more fussy in what they're looking for in a graduate. It's all supply and demand. So industry is looking for graduates who are work ready, who are ready to hit the ground running. And actually just having a piece of paper that says you graduated from university is not enough these days. Another challenge for students is that many of the jobs that they will go into after they finish university simply don't exist at the moment. And it's the challenge is how to ensure that you're prepared for these jobs and these changes in sectors that at the moment is very difficult to predict. So it's important for students to keep their options open, focus on key skills that they can build, and just really pay attention to what's going on in industry. Don't just take that from me. This is what our industry contacts tell us. I have here Rob Elder, who's one of our industry contacts, who came in from the Bank of England to talk to our students specifically about this.
So I think my main piece of advice is you can't tell what the future will hold. So try to be flexible. Try to make sure that you don't burn bridges and you take options which allow you to do a wide variety of things. And try to think a bit about what might get big in the future and how can I get into that. So be a bit wary about only using history to work out what to study. Also think about where are things going and can I get in on that trend.
So some really good advice there. So when we talk to employers, they tell us that there's three main things basically that they're looking for in graduates. Number one is they want students to have a good qualification. Now, exactly what a good qualification means will vary by employer and by industry. But generally, they're looking for something like a world-renowned university or a good university, or at least one that they've heard of. This is often quite important for international students when they go back to their own country after graduating. Has my employer even heard of this university before? And when I talk about a good university, there's obviously many different ways you can decide if a university is good. It needs to be the right university for you. It could be a university that is well known for a particular course. It could be a university that is just very good at preparing students for the world of work. So it's not necessarily about just rankings and research, reputation or things like that. An accredited degree is very popular. So especially for things like, for example, marketing roles, if you're applying for a marketing role and you have a degree that is accredited by the Chartered Institute of Marketing, for example, that can be a real advantage. And a good grade, generally more important for that first step into a graduate role. If a company, if an employer is trying to differentiate between lots of students who've been to good universities, they might have a look at the grade you've achieved as well. I'm not going to talk too much about good qualifications. What I'm going to focus on is the next two things. One is develop transferable skills, very important. So employers are looking for a range of skills in students. People skills, so things like leadership, teamwork, communication, self-reliance skills, awareness and resourcefulness, general problem-solving skills, flexibility, commitment, time management, very important as well. And potentially, depending on the employer or the industry, perhaps some technical expertise, particular IT knowledge, for example. So they're looking for skills, but they're also looking for experience. And this becomes increasingly important as time goes on. So they're looking for students who have actual practical experience of doing, not just learning theory and learning from books, but actually having done things themselves, putting their learning into practice. Any work experience, any practical training can be very valuable, and also global awareness. And this is something that comes up more and more, is global employers, big companies want students who have global awareness. Good qualifications. I mean, for Newcastle University, you've heard me talk about how great we are. It's tick, tick, tick on the good qualifications. We're a top university, loads of accreditations. So I'm not going to focus on that. We're going to look at the skills and we're going to look at the experiences. So how do we, as a university, help our students to build these things? Well, there's a number of things that we do. And the key really for us is engaging with industry as much as possible. A big reason for launching the campus in London was about improving the industry links for the university as a whole. It's no secret that London is one of the major global centers for business and finance, and Newcastle University wanted to have a footprint in London. So one thing that we do for our students here at Newcastle University London is we run a professional masterclass series. So this happens on Wednesday afternoons during term time, and we invite employers, business leaders into campus to run sessions with our students. Now, these sessions could be a number of things. It could be something like a business leader coming in just to talk about themselves and their career and how they've got to be a successful in business, lessons that they've learned, to pass on advice to our students, and also to give them some encouragement that it is possible to be a success in business. It could be a session run on a particular theme. So for example, we had PwC come in the past to run employability workshops for our students. And they would run mock assessment centers based on the assessment centers that they run when they are recruiting people to come and work for PwC. The other thing it might be is about industry knowledge and sector trends. So just really to give students an insight into latest developments in a particular industry. And this is very, very important. As an example, something like digital marketing, it changes rapidly. What happens in digital marketing is changing all the time. It's very difficult to learn about it from a textbook in the library. So we engage with digital marketing agencies and people who come in to tell our students what are the latest trends, what are the latest developments, to ensure that when they do go for that job interview, they know what's going on in that particular sector. It's also a good networking opportunity and just a good opportunity for our students to get used to being in the same room and being in the same space as business leaders. You can see on the screen there some of the organizations that have come in to deliver these masterclasses at our London campus over the past couple of years. Some big global organizations there, but we also have some SMEs and entrepreneurs who come in and talk to our students as well, and from a variety of different industries. One thing we work very hard on is work experience, so giving our students the opportunity to undertake some kind of work placement as part of their studies. So these are up to 1 year paid work placements for undergraduate students that they would do as a sandwich year. Pretty well established system in the UK for UK universities. We as a university provide a lot of support to the students to help them to find these work placements. It's ultimately their responsibility to do it. It's not handed to them on a plate. Nothing in life is that easy, but we do provide a lot of support to them. And these placements are generally paid, and they are paid at a good level for relative to the real job that these students are doing. These are up to 1 year in length. And they can be combined with a study abroad if students would like to get some overseas experience as well. And on the screen there, you can see an example of some of the companies that our London campus students have been to for these work placements over the past couple of years, and the kinds of role that they have performed. So some really impressive logos on there, really impressive companies to have on your CV even before you graduate. We also seek to make the most of being in central London by engaging with industry around us and taking our students out of the campus to go and visit industry. You can see on the top left there is our students going to the Institute of Directors in London. And we also took a group of students to Chelsea Football Club, to Stamford Bridge, to learn about the business of sport. And they got to attend a session with the Director of Commercial Operations at Chelsea, who actually happens to be a Newcastle University graduate, which is nice, as well as have a tour of the stadium, and they met a former player as well. But it's really to get a first-hand insight into different industries and an experience of what the workplace actually looks like. As much as possible, we engage our students in real-life practical business projects as part of their course, as part of their modules. A really good example of this is something called the Spitalfields Market Challenge. Now, this is a project that our Masters in International Business Management students work on. And it's one project that gives them the grade for one entire module. It's called the International Management Practitioner module. And what it is a practical project where they have to set up and run their own real business. We give them a market stall in a close by traditional, beautiful London market, Spitalfields Market, for those of you who are familiar with London. And we largely leave them to it. They have to conduct their own market research. They have to spend time in the market to work out what are people going there to buy, what are other people selling, are there any gaps in the market, what do I think would sell well. They have to then source that product from somewhere, talk to suppliers. They have to negotiate prices, come up with their own pricing strategy, and they have to launch a marketing campaign, which is supported by our undergraduate marketing students as an example of a real life business project as well. And then they have to stand in London, in the market, in the cold for 2 days, normally in March, April time, and actually sell to the public and try and make some kind of profit if possible. And this is a really good example of one project where they don't spend any time in the library. There's no time sitting in front of dusty old books. This project and this module is all about putting your learning into practice and actually doing. So they build up a lot of real life, practical, useful business skills that employers are looking for. We have some fantastic support for entrepreneurs as well. We have a startup program, and this is here to support any students who are intending to launch their own business or would like to explore the ideas around launching their own business, or for students who have already set up their own business but would like further support to develop that business. So we support students all the way through the process, from helping them to generate a concept through to developing their business idea, finding funding, and actually launching their business. And we have a network of professional coaches who will do one-to-one coaching with this group of students, and also a network of experts, investors, influencers, and industry contacts to really help our students get this business off the ground. Okay. And global experience. So I mentioned that something employers say to us more and more is they're looking for students who have cross-cultural awareness, because the office environment that they provide is a very diverse, is a very international office. The style of work is changing. I mean, you can see it's happened hugely now since the COVID-19 outbreak, and everyone is working remotely. But even before that, the trend to online working, international working, conference calling with teams in different continents is really accelerating fast. So it's important that graduates have got some cross-cultural communication skills and cultural awareness when they come into their graduate job. So there's a few things that we do to help them build this while they are a student with us. Now, for you guys or for your students, a lot of you will be international students already. So in coming to the UK, you are having an international experience, and you are learning so much just by taking that step to leave your own country and go to the UK and go to university. You will learn so much, and that will be a big, big help. but we also give you an opportunity to build even more. So we have a study abroad year option. This is for undergraduate students, and it's done between years 2 and 3. It's completely optional. It can be combined, as I mentioned, with a work placement as well. That bit's quite flexible. You can do part of a year study abroad, part of a year work placement. And we have study abroad partners in all over the world, in Australia, Brazil, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, USA, as well as a lot of different countries and cities and universities across Europe as well. Here at Newcastle University, London, for the past few years, we've taken all of our final year undergraduate students on an international field trip as well. So for the past 2 years, we've taken our students to Amsterdam, and this is really to give them, again, a taste of the business culture in a different country. I mean, London is fantastic because London is international and you have people from everywhere, but just a bit more added value. We've taken students off to the Netherlands. They visited the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, various businesses over there, including Yakult, which is a big industry in the Netherlands, to one of our partner universities, Groningen, and also to have a bit of fun and to engage in a bit of cultural exchange as well. If students want to have some experience overseas, but they don't want to take a whole year out as part of an undergraduate degree, we do have a number of summer internships that are available to students who are studying business subjects, both in Newcastle and in London. And these are summer placements, normally 2 to 3 months, that students would do between finishing year 2 and starting year 3. We have a really cool project in Rwanda where students can go out and work with some local entrepreneurs and help them with their businesses and develop their business ideas and their strategies. We have a partnership with a charity in Tanzania. There's a couple of finance projects with banks in India, RBI and NSM. We also have a partnership with a school in India and with a psychiatrist at the Tata Medical Center as well, which is quite relevant to students if they're interested, particularly in marketing and statistics and consumer behavior as well. So a number of options across Africa and India as well. And people skills, very important. So people skills, I mean, it's something that students will build up in their day-to-day life anyway. In working as part of groups, in group projects, in doing part-time jobs or any volunteering, you'll build up your people skills. But there's also a lot at the university to get engaged with if you would like to build your people skills further. So we're talking things like communication skills, leadership, teamwork, organization, dedication. So the Students' Union is a really good place to start. So you could join one of our many societies. So at the London campus, we have societies in things like the Food Society, Women in Business, Finance, Amnesty International. You can also engage with some of the events and activities that are run through the Students' Union, things like Freshers Week. There's lots of volunteering and charity opportunities. You could choose to be a student rep, where you represent your class. Is a really good opportunity to build up some communication and some leadership skills as well. So lots of opportunities to build these kind of soft skills at university as well. And to make students really clearly employable and to reward our students for working hard on all of these extracurricular things that we offer them, we have something at Newcastle University which is called the NCL Plus Award. And what that does is it recognizes students who've done at least 50 hours of extracurricular activity. So this could be things like engaging in clubs and societies, any volunteering, any work experience you've done, any international of those global opportunities. And this is a separate award that you get that you can put on your CV. And this will really set you apart from the students who just turn up and study and do their work and go home and play computer games throughout their university career. So it's a real reward for working hard and taking advantage of opportunities. And it's a really clear, tangible symbol that you can give to an employer to say, I've done hard work, I've worked really hard, and this is the proof. So I've just gone through a few ways that we here at Newcastle University support students in building key skills and building that key work experience and also the global experience that employers are looking for. But despite all of that, it's still not quite enough to succeed in getting a top job. You're only part of the way there. And the thing that's missing is actually opportunity, because there are loads of good students taking advantage of all the opportunities given to them at university, graduating every year. But what you need is opportunity as well. And what I mean by opportunity is we as a university see our role as not only helping our students to build up these skills, this experience, but also to link them up with the job opportunity, link them up with employers. And we do this in a couple of ways. So we have a fantastic program called NCL Spark. And what NCL Spark is it's really a database of Newcastle University graduates who are now working in industry, whether that's in London, across the UK, or internationally. And what you can do is when you're a student, you can log into NCL Spark and you can search for Newcastle graduates by a particular industry or potentially by a particular company. If you're set on working for one particular organization, if it's large enough, it may appear. And there will be a list of Newcastle graduates who are working in that industry or working in that company. Now, these graduates have all opted in to being on this database because they are there to help and support and give advice and mentor our current students. So this is a really good opportunity for students to reach out to somebody who is doing the job that they would like to do in the future, to ask them for advice, to ask them for mentorship. It's actually quite a good way often to source work experience opportunities as well, to get your foot in the door. That famous phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know, is I think very true for employability everywhere in the world. And this is a really good way to get into lots of industries by knowing a particular individual in a company or in an industry that you want to get into. We do, of course, have a fantastic job platform as well. So this is a database of job opportunities, internships, work placement opportunities, and proper graduate full-time jobs that companies list with Newcastle University for Newcastle University students. And we are one of the most popular universities in the UK with employers. So this is a really good starting place for students when they start university to go in and have a look at what kind of jobs are available. And of course, the career service, we have a fantastic career service that will support students through the job application process. So that includes things like writing a good CV, getting a good LinkedIn profile together, practicing for job interviews, writing job applications, practicing for assessment centres, and even careers counselling as well. It's lots of students don't know what job they want to do, what industry they want to go into. So they can book a one-to-one consultation with our careers team who will talk them through the kind of options that are available. We also have specific support for our international students. Obviously, students who are coming to the UK on a student visa, there are certain rules and regulations around what happens after they graduate if they want to stay in the UK to work. So we run sessions for our international students to talk about immigration routes into graduate employment, how you can stay in the UK on a visa after you graduate, but also to help international students find part-time jobs while they are studying with us. We're very aware that when you come to the UK, it might be the first time you've ever been to the UK, it might be the first time you've ever left your own country. So something like trying to find a part-time job can seem very scary and very daunting. So we run sessions to help you with that as well. So to conclude, employers are looking for a good qualification from a good university and a relevant and ideally an accredited degree, which is something that Newcastle University provides. And they're looking for developed transferable skills, which is something that Newcastle University provides. And they're looking for a range of experience, which, as you can guess, is something that we think we're very good at providing. So if students take advantage of the opportunities given to them at university, they get that good qualification, they build those transferable skills, and they take advantage of the work experience and the global opportunities available to them, that should hopefully result in finding a fantastic graduate job. And that's what we're working towards. But I can't emphasize enough that we put all of these opportunities in front of you as a student, but it really is down to you to make the most of them. We won't push you into doing a work placement. We won't push you into attending our industry masterclasses. They're there for you. You have to make the effort to come and attend them. And if you do, you will give yourself every chance of getting a top job in a big global company after you graduate.